this is a gift from Prue. She was worried she might miss you.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice, isn't it?
If it's closed, I hope it still fits her. She's a beast of a baby.
Hello and welcome to the tennis. We have 50 days till the summer of tennis here in Australia and 60 days till the Australian Open. But let's look at what's happening around the world. Rampaging Rybakina, she catches fire in Riyadh to win the WTA Finals. Titans in Turin, tennis's biggest rivals on track to look horns in the ATP Finals. And 101 reasons to smile. Djokovic finishes off his season in style in Athens. Now that I've got all that out, I'd love to introduce myself first, I suppose. I'm Brie Stewart, but co-hosting with me today, because Xavier's off unwell, is we have Dan Imhoff, superstar of editorial.
Thanks, Brie. Changing sides of the desk this week, channeling a bit of Xav. I'll do my best.
Yeah, I think we should be in a much calmer state, especially if I can get my words out. But we also have the beautiful mind of the podcast team. We've got Simon Ray.
Hey, Brie. Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me back.
Love
Good to
having
see
you.
you.
Good to be here.
Our listeners love you too, so that's great. And back after a little hiatus, because a little bundle of joy came into the world, we've got the Aussie legend and BJK Cup captain who's on maternity leave, Sam Stosur.
Thank you. Lovely to be here again.
And how is it going with a little baby?
It's great. It's great. It's relentless and sleepless, but apart from that, it's
You
absolutely
know, you look
wonderful.
really good.
Well,
Little
I-
Emmy.
I got 3 hours straight before 7 o'clock this morning, so you know I'm on a winner today.
Grateful for the little
Wouldn't
wins.
know. That's a good effort.
I don't know how parents do it. Like if I get 5 hours, I'm like, oh, I am dead.
I'm like, send me back to a pre-season. That was easy.
Yeah.
And how old's little Emmy now?
Like 4.5 months.
2.5 months.
Yeah, so
So
in
I've
the
got a
thick of it.
Little story. I saw you in January in Brisbane. I was up covering my home tournament, home state, and walked out of the hotel with my partner. Put it into context. Yeah, he's from Spain, and walked past Sam having a family walk there with Evie and Liz. I said, "Oh, hey Sam," and you said, "Hey guys." We got a few meters down the road, and Gia said, "Some woman just said hello to us." I said, "Well, that woman is Aussie tennis royalty, Sam
Don't
Stosur.
be so disrespectful.
How dare you?"
Oh my God. What? You've been in tennis for years. Why have you not
No,
educated
and-
him?
no,
We
no,
need to
he
get
did.
some
As soon as
flip
it said the
images, like a
name.
Guess Who kind of game with all the Aussie legends on it.
It wasn't on site, to be fair. It was in the CBD.
Out of
Still.
context.
Out of context.
Some woman.
I was quite ashamed at the time, but we pulled it together.
You're like, we're just friendly in Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Simon, great analysis from you last week. We always get the fans loving you and Levi, to be fair. Give us a taste
time
of
for
what's
everything.
in store today.
Well, I think we're going to talk a little bit about Rybakina in Riyadh
Yeah.
and some of what we saw, particularly in that final against Sabalenka. I know Dan's going to talk about the ATP Tour Finals, and the team have asked me to look specifically at Sinner and Alcaraz. So really similar in some ways, but really different in a few nuanced ways as well. So looking forward to having a chat about that.
Yeah, great. And I'll throw some curveballs as well.
That
so I
sounds
hope you're
good.
ready. You love that.
Always
I
ready
do
for
that.
your
Yeah.
curveballs, Freak.
Got to talk
Yeah.
about Felix.
Yes. Okay. Happy to do so. Let's talk Felix.
I thought about that this morning. I was like, I won't tell anyone. I'll just put you on the spot again.
Okay, sounds good.
But let's get into what's caught your eye. I
Sounds
just
good.
stole your line.
That's fine. We'll flick to Sam straight away then. Elena Rybakina finished the year. What an emphatic finish to the year after a pretty, somewhat tumultuous year and a pretty big paycheck to come with it.
Yeah, I mean, did she finish well or what? Winning Ningbo to actually get into the finals. So she was only in a week or so before it was even starting. So, I mean, even trying to get yourself into finals when you're vying for points in those last couple of weeks can be very stressful. And then she did that and then absolutely just went on an onslaught through finals, went undefeated, biggest paycheck in women's tennis or sports history, really, over 8 million Aussie dollars, which is just
Not bad for a week's work.
nuts.
Actually unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, incredible. But the beating Sabalenka, who's obviously finishing number one again, she smashed through Swiatek in those last two sets. I mean, she's playing exceptional tennis again and back to really where we all, I think, she, you know, where we think she belongs in the top five of the world again, where she was, you know, a year or so ago.
Yeah.
The $8 million really explains Sabalenka's face at the end of that match too. Did you see her face? She was not impressed. She was like, oh, devastated.
I mean, she's had a few tight final losses this year, so it was probably the Maldives couldn't come quick enough, I'd say, for for all of them really, but
Yeah.
I think they were at their wits' end by that point, and good to get the break in.
So, Simon, how does his performance back up in the data you shared last week?
Well, we spoke a little bit last week about her weapons and what she brings to the table, and what a fearsome prospect she is to come up against when she's at her best and playing her best tennis. And I think there's some numbers that speak to that. Looking specifically at the final, there's not many players, I'm sure Sam would agree, there's not many players on tour that can almost have their way with Aryna Sabalenka down the other end in terms of dictating more points than they're on the receiving end of, and Rybakina is one of those, or Rybakina is one of those. So 13 aces to 5 in the final against Sabalenka, not broken across 2 sets. And this was an extraordinary number that jumped off the page at me when I was watching this match back, and sure enough, it did get confirmed in the numbers. She won 75% of her second serve points, Rybakina.
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
50% is kind of a really solid number. Anything above 50 is a good, solid result, 55 or 60. So to win 75% of your second serve points against Sabalenka, who's all about trying to do maximum damage on second serve return herself, that proved to be a real difference maker in the match. And I think just to speak to, as Sam alluded to, the pedigree of Rybakina. So she's 8-6 all time versus number 1 ranked players in the world. Rybakina.
It's impressive.
There's only 2 other females ever that have had a winning record against number 1 ranked players in the world. They are Stephanie Graf and Serena Williams.
Wow.
So she's an elite company. And that just shows you, I think that speaks to how good this woman's upside is. When she's at her best, she's a fearsome prospect to come up against. And she can have a say in the match that means you're going to be flat out trying to hang with her. And I think we saw that again in Riyadh.
Just going back to her serving, I always thought of myself as a pretty good reader of ball toss and serving and stuff like that. I played her maybe 3 times, I think, in singles, and every time I was clueless. I did not,
Really?
I could not read her serve. So when you're then standing up there to return and you don't really know which way she's going to go because she can hit every spot whenever she wants, really. Off the same toss. Very, very hard to read. And that second serve stat is phenomenal. And that just sets her up then to hit more winners. If she's not winning it with an ace or like an unreturnable, she's got whole court. She's a total offensive play the whole time. And then she can really just let loose on return games as well. Because if she's just rolling through service games and feeling good, pressure's off on those return games. So she's got every weapon and every shot that you could really want in tennis. If she's there, ready to go, she's a real force. Yeah,
and I think it leaves us salivating potentially when we think about the Australian Open and could we see a match-up between these 2 women again? Because not many have been able to challenge Sabalenka, but Rybakina, whilst she doesn't have the edge on her, I think that makes it 8-6 Sabalenka's way. She's one that's been able to go right there. And even in their last 4 matchups this year, I think they've split those. I think it's 2-2 recently. So, I think that's really enticing to think about. Could we have the prospect of a Sabalenka-Rybakina matchup down here in Melbourne at the AO?
And we've seen it here before. It's still one of the best Grand Slam finals we've seen. That they just match up so well. They know each other's games really well, both super aggressive and great spectacle for the fans.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at Rybakina in a press conference talking about that momentum and carrying it on.
Well, it gives a lot of motivation, and hopefully I get some good rest, and I can keep this mentality and bring it to the next season. And hopefully we can improve even more and start strong. And I'm really glad that I was pretty stable throughout the whole tournament, and hopefully I can carry it throughout the whole next season.
What do you think? Because obviously we've seen a bit of up and down from her, like less of her name in the top 5 this year. What has changed between a couple of months back to now, do you think?
I think it's been a year of some upheaval, right?
Yeah.
She's had a lot
with
going
her
on.
coach and stuff,
and inevitably, and Sam would be able to speak to this as well, does the off-court affect the on-court? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And life and tennis are inextricably woven together. And I think we've seen that with some of the bumps along the road that she's endured this year, but speaks to her character that as things are starting to settle in her camp and she feels that level of comfort again, she's been able to produce her best tennis when it matters most towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
She said there's also been, it could be linked even, some health issues off-court as well. So if you intertwine that with your other off-court issues, it's pretty tough then to be playing at your peak. But somehow she's found that equilibrium again to push at the end of the year. And she's won Brisbane International before, made the final, Adelaide, Final Aussie Open. So she loves these courts, clearly.
Plays well in Australia.
She does, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does down here, so it'll be great to watch. So get tickets. But from talking about the WTA Finals, we're going to move into the ATP Finals in Turin.
Yeah, so we're
Dan.
still in the grip of ATP Finals, almost at the knockout phase. The crowds have been electric in Turin. I mean, it helps when you've got two players from the country competing.
Yeah.
One of them's the defending champion. It was particularly electric the other day when Musetti was playing de Minaur, and it didn't go de Minaur's way, and it was a pretty tough one for him. Second year in a row, though, he's qualified, so there's a lot to be proud of, but he was disappointed that he didn't serve that out to get his first win at the ATP Finals. Keep in mind, Musetti was a late entrant after Djokovic withdrew. He played Athens. If he won the title, he got in. He fell just short against Djokovic, and Djokovic told him at the net, I'm actually not going to play, so you are in. So there was...
Bittersweet.
I think he was a bit annoyed he had to play that extra week, but, you've got plenty of other chances during the year to book your spot.
Yeah.
So tough one for de Minaur. He now falls to 0-5 in his 2 years at the ATP Finals. He's got one match left against Fritz, and that would be his first top 10 win of the year if he can get that. But it's pretty brutal now. I think he's another player that can't wait for the mental reset, just some time off before arguably the most important time of the year for him as an Aussie player.
Summer. Yeah. Should we have a look at a bit of what Alex said in his press conference after that loss to Musetti?
Yep.
I think it's probably a good thing I don't express my feelings right now because they're quite dark. To be honest, it just feels like it's been that type of year where I've had a lot of matches that these are issues that can't keep happening. I mean, if I really want to be serious about taking the next step in my career, these matches, I can't lose them. I just can't. I mean, it just, more than anything, it's getting to a point where mentally it's killing me.
The sadness in his voice is so, like, it hits you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to Sam and Simon, how difficult it is that to kind of shake that? Like, what else can he do? He's as fit as anyone out there. That's, what other elements could you add, or is it just all mental now?
Well, I think the longer it goes, it becomes more of a mental hurdle than anything. I think it's probably no secret he doesn't maybe have some of the huge weapons that a lot of these guys in the finals have. So he's sort of up against it in that way when he plays back-to-back guys in the top 8, top 10 all the time, which I think is showing in his record against them, unfortunately. But he's one of them. He's in the top 8.
Right,
so he's got to
He deserves to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he didn't buy his way in there. He's earned every single point and every single spot to make himself, qualify for finals and be in the top 8 in the world and finish an incredible year off. So it's, I guess it's one of those things you always want more. So you're there, but when you're falling short, like he's saying that he is, and he feels like he's putting in all the work and doing everything, you want to get over the line. It still doesn't feel good whether you're 6th in the world or 200 in the world. You still want more because you're still going to be striving for, more of, what he's capable of. But I think he's got to just, probably a good time just to reset, clear the slate and not let those sort of mental demons then start creeping in these matches, because it's only a match, but as a player you can always kind of catastrophize them to be more than what they are.
Yeah. And if you guys were co-coaches, for example, what would you be working on with him at the moment?
I think Sam touches on a great point, because I think what she's speaking to there is perspective. And, it's like you could be at a family barbecue here in Australia, right? And everyone wants to know, well, how does Demon take it to that next level? But what Sam's touched on, I couldn't agree more with, is he is doing fantastically well. He's the envy of all of us having the type of career that he's having at the minute. And we're talking about some potential greats of all time in Alcaraz and Sinner, and the Musetti one surprised me a little bit, that he's got the losing record to Musetti. I think he's 1-4 overall against Musetti. But up against Fritz, all is not lost there. I think he's 5-5. So he's kind of split the ledger there with Fritz looking ahead at the next matchup. So maybe at the risk of not directly answering your question, Brie, I think it is about what Sam's describing, is taking a deep breath and reinforcing there's so much that's going well here. And where can we find a couple of % extra to go to another level again?
Yeah.
But I think some of us maybe in Australia are guilty of looking at what we don't have rather than reinforcing what this young man is doing such a superb job of.
He is.
Day in, day out and week in, week out.
And this match against Fritz, like, it's a free swing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's not going to qualify for semis, so he can really just go out there and loosen
Play
the
hard.
shoulders and play hard. And, you know, Fritz has got the pressure on him, not the other way around. So, you know, it's an opportunity where you might just be able to think, okay, well, this is what I didn't do yesterday. I'm going to go for it today. And there's really no consequence.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Well, Fritz also complained about a little bit of knee tendonitis. So he's won one match,
Said he's had it
lost
all
one.
year, didn't he? Yeah.
He said he's been juggling it mainly since Wimbledon. And I guess you would know as a player, Sam, how difficult that is to balance, whether you take the time off to heal it and strengthen it. It's not something that needs intervention. It doesn't need surgery, but it's a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's what he alluded to in his comments was I'm playing so well. I can play for 2 sets pretty well with, you know, minimal pain. Why would I take all this time off and not be part of it? So it's, I mean, again, it brings up the questions of how long the season is to be able to then take a break at the end of the year. He's, you know, hasn't got much time to really take that break and then do a preseason. So I think a lot of players just manage, you know, little niggles here and there and injuries throughout the year. If they don't need the full time off, they just try and get by.
I think that is a really interesting coaching question, though, because whilst he's saying, and he's right, the evidence proves he's right, he can play 2 sets at a phenomenally high level. Perhaps you could mount the argument that in best of 5 sets to trouble the likes of Sinner and Alcaraz and to do it in consecutive matches or to win 7 consecutive best of 5 set matches, maybe that knee is an issue. So which one do you want to value? Which one do you want to prioritize in the hierarchy? You probably can't have your cake and eat it too. Maybe you could mount a case that to step back for 6 weeks and do some work on that knee might serve you well at Grand Slam time. So those are the conversations that the camp would be having, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll see what happens then at the AO with Fritz.
Yeah.
So, Simon, Alcaraz needs only to beat Musetti now to secure the year-round end, number 1, for the second time. Do you see anything other than a Sinner versus Alcaraz final to the end?
It's hard to see.
Season?
Hard to see, isn't it, Brie?
Yeah.
I think we probably spoke about it last week. It looks like the likely outcome.
The stars are
to
written.
Me. Yeah, I mean, it would, I think, be fitting to sign off the 2025 campaign with a matchup between those two. And it would take a braver man than me to tip it not being the case at the moment. So I would say all roads are likely leading to that outcome that you mentioned. Alcaraz and Sinner in the final at Turin.
I think he'll be just the 11th player to finish year-end number 1 more than once. The last player outside the big 3 to finish year-end twice. Any idea who that might be?
Ooh, we've got a little quiz.
Little midpoint
Outside
quiz.
of the big 3.
It wasn't Leighton.
It was Leighton.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sam's just gone bang.
Bang, got it in one.
I had no idea. I was just here for the sound effect.
2001 and 2002, back to back. And no other player outside the big 3 has finished year-end twice since.
That is a long time.
So it's going to be big 3 that Alcaraz or Sinner at the moment. Alcaraz in the box seat. He only has to win 1 more match, I believe, against Musetti to secure that.
And he should beat Musetti because Musetti would have to be tired. He's
You would think,
rolled straight in from Athens, right? Yeah.
He'd be running a bit on empty, but still plenty to play for him. He could secure a semi-final spot, so he won't be rolling over, that's for sure.
I think it's going to be a pretty excited crowd
Yeah.
watching Alcaraz
Yeah.
Musetti.
But Simon, let's move into you and what caught your eye. Still sticking with the ATP Finals, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, Brie. And the team asked me to have a look at the 2 gentlemen that you mentioned just moments ago, and Alcaraz and Sinner, and how do they compare? And I boiled it down or tried to distill it down into 3 buckets. In bucket number 1, they're really similar in a whole bunch of ways, as we know. Enormous weapons, can do serious damage on serve and forehand. Speed and spin on forehand side's kind of impossible to split them. Some of the numbers that we'd expect them to be close. And if you look at the calendar year, points won overall. Who's won more points over the year? Sinner's just got the edge. Second serve points won, it's 58-56. There's nothing in it. Second serve return won, 58-55. It's in Sinner's favour. But where it does start to split out, now we're on to bucket 2. So where do they differ? When you get to the backhand side from the back of the court, things are different. Sinner is more power. He wants it on his terms all of the time, and he's going to beat you with power and athleticism and speed and physicality. Whereas there is more nuance in the Alcaraz game than we see from Sinner. And what I mean by that is, in terms of the utilisation of the slice backhand, how do these 2 players do it? Well, over the last 12 months, you'll see Sinner use a slice backhand 10% of the time. Topspin the other 90. You see Alcaraz use it 25% of the time, or 1 in 4. So when it comes to his backhand, he's using the slice a lot more than Jannik Sinner. Same thing when we look at drop shots. Alcaraz is twice as likely to hit a drop shot as Jannik Sinner is. Net play, he's twice as likely to come forward as Jannik Sinner is. Serve and volley, he's 3 times as likely to do that as Jannik Sinner is. So all of a sudden, we've got 2 great champions, we've got a bunch of similarities, but then we've got some different ways of going about it when we're looking in this bucket. So when you think of variation overall, variation in your game, so what is vanilla and what is variation? That's the type of information that Sam, when she was playing, you're looking to convey that. Hey, this player's a bit more straight up and down. You know what you're going to get. Serve, forehand, looking to bully the ball from the get-go. Or, no, there's a bit more to this. Watch out for the drop shot. Watch out. They like to steal time. They'll occasionally serve and volley against you. Sam had a great kick serve. She could complement that with her power. For example, those are the conversations you're having. Variation, Alcaraz has got 30% of variation in his game. Okay, I can talk another time as to how we get to that number. Sinner's got about 15% of variation in his game. So there's twice as much variation in the Alcaraz game as what we see from Jannik Sinner. And then the third bucket, and I'm not necessarily describing a leader in this bucket, but the third bucket was this notion of mentality or under pressure performance. Break points won, slight edge to Alcaraz. 45% of his break points he wins. Sinner's at 42%. Not much in that. Deciding sets won, though, so either a third set or a fifth set when we think of Grand Slam tennis. This surprised me. Sinner wins 57% of those. So his overall winning percentage is much higher than that. So if you can get Sinner to a deciding set, you can actually get him. He's more gettable than he is any other time, right? He's either going to steamroll you, or if you can push him all the way, you're a fighting chance, you're alive. Whereas Alcaraz in deciding sets, he wins nearly 80% of his deciding sets.
That's a big difference between the two.
And then in tie breaks one, it flips again. Flips the other way. So Sinner's 82% of his tie breaks he wins, 65 or 2 out of 3 for Alcaraz of his tie breaks that he wins. So there's probably a couple of different ways to look at that. If you get them to a tie break, Sinner's dynamite. But if it goes to a deciding set, look out. Some of Alcaraz's mentality and ability to play with the pressure or the weight of the world on his shoulders, he's tough to handle when matches really are on the line. So
and those guys and their teams would be well aware of this, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think that's all publicly facing information. So that's what I delved into. And when you look at their games, A, how they're similar. They're similar in a whole bunch of ways. We would know that through watching the tennis on TV. B, how do they differ? And see, if we dig, deeper than surface level, what do we see from a mentality or a pressure perspective? Yeah. These two great champions and great combatants on the court.
And what's a better technique, or is it just 2 different ways of playing?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's got the same looking serve or
same skill set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But geez, you can make something work for you. If it works for you, then that's all that really matters.
Run with it.
I think, I mean, look. The variation, all that with Alcaraz, I think, is what makes him look so dynamite. Yeah. It's so exciting to watch. But Sinner, you just know he is there all the time. Yeah. So it's a really, that's just a fascinating way to look at their 2 contrasting styles. But then also looking at Sinner's win-loss record against the rest of the field in the ATP is almost unbeatable.
Yes. Yeah.
But he's only, beaten Alcaraz once out of 9 or something. So there's obviously something in their matchup against each other that Sinner does not like and Alcaraz is well above. But then against every single other player, it's almost, unbeatable.
In terms of the rivalry, you said how evenly they are matched. They're 2 of the best ball strikers, 2 of the best movers.
Yep.
And I think you can speak more to this, but if they know each other's games that well, there's the anticipations there as well. So does that raise it another level, do you think? When 2 players know each other's games inside out like that?
I think it becomes really tricky, right? Because to what extent are you backing your strengths? And something Darren Cahill said, without having the quote in front of me, really stuck with me before the Wimbledon final, where I think ESPN asked him what was the message. And I think it was strength, speed, power.
Okay.
And I thought, gee, that's a great coaching message. Like, imagine walking onto the court, when there's all kinds of stuff going on between the ears, the weight of the world literally on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And strength, speed, power. You've got those qualities in spades. Go and let them shine through on the biggest stage. I thought, that's what makes Darren Cahill such a great,
concise, easily rememberable.
Exactly. And you walk onto the court feeling 10 foot tall and bulletproof right when you need it the most, right?
Yeah.
So I think to answer your question, Dan, to what extent do you want to back your strengths versus you're trying to work on little nuances in your game all of the time to maybe add a wrinkle in 2026 that you perhaps didn't have in 2025, when these matches are often decided by a point or two over 5 sets.
And I promised a bonus question. But Felix has turned, and we spoke about him a bit last week, kind of had a big end to his year, and he beat Ben Shelton in Turin. He's going at the moment, isn't he?
Seems to be coming back to some of his
revived.
best tennis.
Yes.
Yeah. And we know about serve and forehand when we think about Felix, and the knock on him has been backhand side for a number of years. When I say the knock, it's a pretty high standard to be holding. But it's been, let me say, less threatening than serve and forehand. And I think what we're seeing from him in 2025 is we're seeing him more healthy, more often, and he's giving himself more of an opportunity to shine with those weapons that we know he does have: serve, forehand, and physicality.
Yeah.
He's moving so well that he's able to do more damage again with his forehand and make his backhand side, allow his backhand side to hold up better against the quality opposition.
Yeah, because I did not think he'd beat Shelton.
He loves this time of year, doesn't he? He loves indoors.
Yeah, okay.
And he loves that period just after Oz Open too. He cashes in then as well. Brie, we're going to move on to someone else who knows a thing or two about finishing year-end number 1.
Not me. Yeah.
Nor me.
He's done it more times than anyone. 8.
Yes.
8, in fact. Novak Djokovic. Now, usually he'd be taking part in the ATP Finals, but it was still a little positive to finish the year on, wasn't it, in Athens?
It was. And the reason why this caught my eye is because it's his 101st title. And he did this great social media post where it was him and 101 Dalmatians. I believe it's AI, but I'm all for it. I think it's amazing. And there's obviously not 101 Dalmatians, so there's a slight flaw in the number counting here. But I thought it was really quite cute. He also was doing a photo shoot with the trophy at the Acropolis. And I think it was about 4:30 p.m. and they realised it shut at 5. So he had to run there and actually skip the line, which I'm sure the fans or the people in Greece were fine for him to actually make it to get his photo. And you can see all these great fans in the background laughing.
What a backdrop.
I know, what a backdrop. It's actually gorgeous, isn't it?
No shortage of impressive
Obviously,
sights
the dogs
there.
caught my attention first, and then I thought this was quite funny watching him run through the streets of Greece to make it there on time. But a really massive, amazing win from him. We have heard him talk a lot this year about how he thinks he can beat the younger players in 3 sets, where 5 sets becomes more tricky. I personally was a bit disappointed he wasn't going to Turin, just because I feel like he does deserve to be there, and I would have liked to be playing against those people, but also great to have Musetti there.
Yeah, I think he was looking after his body, wasn't he? Look, he definitely earned his place, I think, with his slam runs this year, but the body is clearly the priority now, and Oz Open is just around the corner, so he wants to be right for that.
Yeah.
I think we've seen him more in 2025 more than ever before. We've seen him make some decisions that are really different to those that he's made earlier in his career, and clearly physicality and health is going to come first, second, third and fourth at the moment. And so whether it was going into the US Open with next to no match play under the belt, there was limited time on grass before Wimbledon. So we're just seeing him make some really different decisions than what we've seen previously, but I think it makes sense.
It does make sense.
He's at in his career.
Well, I've got this great stat. He's the oldest ATP champion since our very own Ken Rosewall in 1977, and he won in that year in Hong Kong and Tokyo at the age of 43.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's got a few years yet to beat that.
Yeah, and do you know what? We could still be seeing him at
Well,
43.
Didn't he say he wants to carry the flag at LA 28?
Yeah. So we've got 2 more years.
That's
Three,
It's
really.
still
2
a
and a
while.
half.
I mean, who would bet against him?
I'm
but
tired thinking about it.
if anyone's going to do it, he would find a way. But it's a long time.
Yeah, you'd have to think it'd be a pretty skeleton schedule by
Oh,
that
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like really
Just roll him out for the
pinpointing the
Olympics.
important ones. Yeah, exactly.
But he would still need to play a certain amount of matches
Yeah, he
to
would.
be able to make it in, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he's still playing, he'd get a wild card. There's there's ways that he could
okay.
do it,
Levers.
but to be an actual threat,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's not just going to go there to
No.
fill up the draw.
No,
is
I
he?
don't think
He
carrying
wants
the
to be
flag's
there
the goal.
to
win,
win.
to perform.
He wants
Yeah,
another
yeah.
goal.
So
yeah.
I think you still got to have some sort of element of competitive matches under your belt to be able to do that at the top level, especially against the guys like Alcaraz and Sinner. he's finding it hard now. I couldn't imagine in 3 years' time.
No.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, Djokovic, as you race towards LA. We'll be watching all the way. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to discuss more about BJK Cup preview and with Kim Birrell in Hobart, I believe. We're back, and we're going to get into some of the other stories happening out there. Firstly, Australian BJK Cup team playing off for a spot in the 2026 qualifiers. And how lucky are we to have the captain who's having a little hiatus. You said you've got 20 days left.
About that, yeah.
But who's counting?
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you think the team's looking. No doubt you're talking to Praddy, who's the current captain at the moment, filling in for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I think they've had a great week of training down there. Praddy and I were talking a lot before they actually went down to Hobart. I was going to flicker a message later and be like, so who's playing? Tell me, what's the goss? But look, Praddy's been the coach of the team for over 10 years. So it was fantastic for her to be able to captain the group this time around. And, it's such a great squad. It's a pretty young team, really, but, Stormy and Ellen have obviously been part of it for a number of years, but the rest of them, we've got a debutante in Talia Gibson. Maya's only playing a second tie, and Kim's playing a maybe fourth or fifth or so. So, relatively young, but it's such a great group, and they all get along so well. So I'm sure they're having a blast down there.
You can see that they've gelled so well, and that's obviously a culture that you've grown up in, and you've helped foster that. But especially for new ones like Maya, as you said, who hasn't played much, and Talia is very new to it. You can see they look really comfortable around the other girls, and I'm sure they hang out a bit during the year too, which would help when they're on the tour, on the road. Yeah,
oh, absolutely. And that's one thing that I've always said about our Australian team, whether it was when I was playing in the team or now, overseeing and captaining, you see all the girls support each other throughout the year. It's not just about coming together for the weeks of BJK where, they become friends and all that. They're actually friends and
that's nice.
Do support each other and want the best for each other every other single week of the year, which is awesome. And I genuinely believe that is a pretty unique situation that we have here in Australia compared to a lot of the other countries.
Well, producer Vic Rudnikov is on the ground in Hobart, and she spoke to Kim Birrell ahead of the tie this weekend against Portugal and Brazil.
Kim, tell me where we are today and what's happening here this week.
We are in Hobart at the BJK Cup tie, and really excited to be here. It's a little bit windy, but the sun's shining, peeking out, so it's a beautiful day, and it's awesome to be wearing green and gold again.
Yeah, and you're playing Brazil and Portugal. What can you tell me about them as competitors?
Yeah, obviously there's going to be no easy matches. Everyone here is representing their country. We all want to win so badly for our teammates, but also everyone here at home, and they'll be feeling the same way, I'm sure. So we're ready for a battle, and I'm not too sure who's going to be playing yet, but whoever steps out on the court is going to give their best and be ready for anything, and it's going to be a challenge, but it'll be really fun.
And you've been in Hobart for a few days now. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I love Hobart. It has a special place in my heart. I have some family here, and I always enjoy coming back here, whether it's for the tournament or to visit them. And I think it's a really amazing city. It's got some of Australia's best food, best coffee, and maybe I shouldn't say that to a Melburnian. Sorry.
It's fine.
We've been to some good cafes. You can't have a bad meal in Tassie, so I think that's been really fun, and obviously some incredible views. We've got such a beautiful view here from centre court. So I really enjoy the relaxed vibe of Tassie. So it's really cool to be here.
Yeah, and obviously you've had a great end to the year, the last couple of weeks in particular. What has been your 2025 highlight on tour?
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's hard to go past last week, and coming through such a tough sort of last few months. I had a bit of a dip, I guess, in my sort of results through the middle of the year and back end of the year, where I felt very close to getting across the line in some tough matches, but didn't quite get there. So it's just such a good feeling when it all comes together and you can put multiple good matches in a row and get to the end of a tournament, especially, in Chennai, the conditions were quite tough. It was very hot, and I sort of had to dig really deep, and it kind of showed me what I was made of, and a great way to finish the year.
And back into the top 100 as well. How does that feel?
It feels really great. It feels a bit surreal, to be honest. I hadn't sort of thought too much about my ranking much over the last few months. I just wanted to start playing well again, and I knew that I could, and so to have that come off of the back of some good tennis is a really great feeling, and really need to thank my team and Praddy and my brother who travelled with me in the last few weeks of this year for sort of picking me up and lifting my spirits and believing in me, and I'm really glad that I could finish the year strong and hopefully be in the main draw of the Australian Open. It's been a big goal of mine, so I guess we'll see in the next couple of weeks if that happens, but it's looking good.
And of course, I can't chat to you today without saying congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
All of us at the pod are very, very excited and happy for you as well.
Thank you
we
so
just
much.
had to put that in there as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a really exciting time, and to also experience that at home with my friends and family. And I didn't tell anyone before I arrived at the tie, except for Praddy knew, but she didn't say anything, which was amazing. And to tell the girls on the first day was really exciting. It was really fun.
That was very cute. Could they have found a windier spot to do that though? I know it's really windy.
That might have been
Hobart.
the least windy spot.
Yeah, it could have been. And I think Vic did really well holding off talking about the engagement, because that would have been my first question. But I know it's about tennis. But how do you think the girls are shaping up? How do you think they'll go over there?
Oh, well, hopefully get the win, obviously. That's what we want.
Yeah.
But look, I think Maya's, if you want to go down the list, obviously we don't know who's going to play, but Maya's ahead on rankings as the number one player at the moment in Australia. And she's had a phenomenal year. I know we keep talking about, every time we talk about Maya, we just, how good it's been, and she keeps getting better and better. And so she's ticked off a lot of firsts this year. And I think now being in this position to play, if she's playing the matches, which I'm pretty sure she will be, she's going to relish that opportunity to be out there representing Australia, and trying to get us off to a good start. And then whoever plays the number 2 spot, try and follow through. And then we've got the really good, experienced Stormy and Ellen most likely for the doubles. So I think we've done everything we can, I'm sure, down there to prepare and do what we can to try and get the W's. And hopefully we can handle that Hobart wind better than anyone else.
Yeah.
How tricky is it to scout? They're two, the opposition, Portugal and Brazil. Brazil's without Haddad Maia, so it's pretty tricky to scout those opponents, isn't it, when they're much lower ranked, particularly singles. I think Stefani in doubles is probably more of a known quantity, but Portugal in particular, those women would have never played the Portuguese women. So how do you scope that?
I mean, to be honest, you kind of just, there's not going to be very much footage of them out, and I'm sure the coaches have watched a few sneaky practices and tried to get a bit of an idea. And I don't know if someone like Italia, who may have been playing a few more ITF tournaments this year, would have come across them a little bit more than some of the other players. So I think at the end of the day, my philosophy is always, if you don't know the girls too much, don't try and look too much into it and find things that maybe aren't there. Focus on your own game. You know what you're going to do well. Start there. And the beauty of this competition is that you've got the coach sitting right there with you. So if you're not picking something up, most likely the captain on the side, or if she's not, then you got 2 more coaches behind her who can scout. So I think it's one of those things where if you don't know them too much, stick to what you do best. Go out there with your A game, and then you can always adjust if you need.
Well, we might also move into some other things that are happening in the Australia space. So United Cup player announcement. So we have had the entry list. It's closed. It's hit us here. We have 5 of the world's top 10 men and 3 of the world's top 10 women. So from the ATP's,
it's impressive, yeah.
It is pretty good, isn't it? Zverev, Fritz, de Minaur. We've got Felix. We've got Draper. And we've got Casper Ruud. From WTA, we've got Iga, Coco Gauff, Jasmine Paolini, and Belinda Bencic. And I do believe we also have Japan, who's entered with Naomi Osaka. So amazing. Quite a big lineup for United Cup this year. I'm very excited personally.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic names.
It's great.
Yeah. Sure, it's awesome. Like, that's exactly what you want. And, I was part of the first United Cup, and it really is a fun,
I love it.
fun week to be part of.
Yeah.
We say it all the time, but the mixed competition is awesome. I think
it's
the players
exciting.
really enjoy it. It's probably a little more relaxed than your typical tournament, maybe starting the year. So I think the players also enjoy that aspect. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have some pretty phenomenal matchups there. starting the year.
To remind our listeners as well at home, how does the United Cup format work?
Okay, so it's 18 nations, 6 groups of 3. The top 6, so the top team from each group goes through, as well as the 2 best performing other teams to the quarterfinals, and then it's a knockout phase, semis and final in Sydney.
Yep. So it's across Perth and Sydney. We do have the draw on Monday, 17th of November, so next week, where we find out who will play in Sydney and Perth. I'm really looking forward to see what happens there. Just now moving into Adelaide, I wanted to talk about the fact that we've got Brazilian sensation João Fonseca, who'll be there this year, as well as Jack Draper, so the heartthrob of the UK. And joining them will be gold medalist Belinda Bencic, and also our very own AO winner from last year, Madison Keys.
That she'll be the defending champion. That's 4 good gets there, isn't
Amazing.
it? Yeah. Particularly the men's side, Fonseca will draw the big Brazilian crowd wherever he plays, and Draper on the comeback from injury, so that's a good event for him to try and launch into his Australian campaign. Bencic has played probably her best year, hasn't she?
Amazing.
Since coming back from maternity leave, and
probably arguably her best season on tour.
Yes.
So
so that means you're going to come out of retirement.
Oh,
You've
no.
just had a baby.
I actually had a hit with Dash last week, and I'm far from maternity. But no, phenomenal comeback, and gets to travel with her little girl and her husband. He's also a fitness trainer, I believe. So it's they're having a great time out on tour.
She's really happy touring with her family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, not much to be unhappy about.
No,
I couldn't imagine.
if you can make that work.
Yeah, exactly. If you can make it work, I think they might need a few more little childcare facilities around the tournaments for all these players having their babies and continuing. But yeah, I mean, hats off to anyone who can do it.
But that's probably a pretty good idea for the WTA, that they need a few more childcare facilities now that, it is becoming a world where women can have children and come back so soon as well. But speaking of pregnancies, Ons Jabeur announced she's pregnant with
How
her
exciting.
partner.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
Amazing. Talk about childcare. Ons was the first person to take anyone's child from them and babysit them. So now she's going to have to do it for herself. But I know she absolutely adores babies and children. So yeah, I'm very, very happy for her.
Yeah.
She's spoken about it, hasn't she, before this was even announced, that she really wanted that Wimbledon so that she could retire and have a baby. But for the moment, she's saying it's on hold, and she is planning to come back. So we'll see how this all changes with motherhood, and whether the spark's still there, or
she nestles into being a mum and something else. But she is getting the benefits from the WTA's paid maternity leave, so she will have a protected ranking, which allows her to return, which is amazing. So that's a very new kind of system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just come out this year. Incredible what the WTA have been able to put forward with this maternity leave, and for the players now, you don't have to wait till you're done and dusted and retired, and obviously you can get older and all of that stuff. So I mean, it's still not easy, I think, to come back, but at least they know, okay, we have that little bit of a buffer there, and really leading the way for women's sports in that regard, which is amazing.
Great progress.
Yeah, it's amazing. So congrats to Ons Jabeur and your family. Very excited to see the little one come along. But on that great kind of end of the show, why don't we end on an even higher note with Ace of the Week?
Let's do it.
Everyone loves Ace of the Week, don't they? We might start with you, Sam, because I'm sure we'll be boring. So we'll start with the best.
Well, to be I'm having a few sleepless nights. So, okay.
Yep.
Well,
Surf clock.
My
got 30
Evie,
seconds.
5-year-old, has started gymnastics. Well, she's been doing gymnastics, but she's been put up to the higher age group, and she's this little girl amongst all these taller kids. And watching her do the warm-up last week was just the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. The skipping and the shuffling and all these things. She's just watching everyone being like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Anyway, I sat there and just smiled for like the first 10 minutes of this lesson. It was great.
That would be so cute.
She must love it then. If she's going up in age groups, she hasn't tapped out of it.
No, she did say she wanted to quit yesterday. But then afterwards she said she had lots of fun. So, you just ride the roller coaster. And you never really know. But, it was seriously one of the cute. I just sat there in just absolute delight watching her try and keep up with all these kids, knowing what moves to do.
So a few more years till Emmy attempts the same.
I think so, yes. Although, I think she's watching Evie every step of the way, and won't be too long till she's chasing her around the house.
Yeah, I love it. What about you? Oh, you want me to go next?
Well, you go.
My ace of the week is last Thursday at approximately 1 p.m. I lost my voice. And by the end of Friday, I had no voice left because I've had really bad hay fever and I've been coughing and I've got asthma. So I was just gone. I got my voice back on Sunday, which is really good news. It's still a bit gravelly. I've got a gravelly voice anyway, but it's still struggling because of the hay fever. But yeah, I was without voice on Friday and I like to talk. So it was really quite difficult.
Sort of an ace. It came into an ace. It started with a double
about
fault
you.
and then turned into an ace.
I think I messaged you and said, are you going to be okay this weekend to socialise,
Yeah.
knowing that how much you love
I didn't
talking
socialise.
and
Yeah. No, I stayed at home.
You assured me you weren't doing any.
I did nothing. I couldn't. I even went for coffee and they were like, don't talk. We know your order. Just be quiet. Because it was like this noise just coming out of me, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was pretty
so
bad.
bad.
Anyway, I've got my voice back, which is exciting. But how about you, Dan?
So mine's not as exciting as either of those. I'm off from Pod Labour Arena to Rod Labour Arena tonight to catch Rufus de Sol.
Do you know what? That's why I didn't say that was my ace of the week, because I knew you'd say it.
Did
I'm
you?
seeing
How
them
is
Saturday
that not
night.
exciting? That's great.
Well, it
It's
is.
great.
It is.
It's really good.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
Is that why you
Looking forward
look so good today?
to that. Do I?
Yeah, you look nice.
Thank you. I thought it's hosting
Looked
duties.
terrible on Monday, but you look lovely today.
Scrub up for hosting duties.
That'll be great. I'm excited to see them on Saturday night.
It's meant to be great. 3 nights in a row, I think they're playing. So
Awesome.
Before we wrap up the show, I would just like to indicate, we probably forgot to mention, Simon Ray, our data, a wonderful man, had to actually leave midway through the show.
Had enough.
To a meeting. We're quite busy here at Tennis Australia with the events up ahead. So if you did wonder that there seemed to be a voice missing, there was, and we forgot to tell you. So sorry, Simon, we missed your ace of the week. But thank you so much, Sam, for being here. We haven't seen you since Emmy was in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good to have you back. And Dan, you did great as a co-host.
Oh, thank you. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he does have big feet, not necessarily big skills.
Where's this going?
No, it was great to have you both. But that is the end of our show. Reminder, we have 50 days until summer of tennis. It'll be even less next week. So we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you. Great to have you back, Sam.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV, and you can also catch us on Tennis Plus by heading to ausopen.com/tennis plus.
And if you want to flick us an email, feedback, thoughts on the show, comments, we're at podcast@tennis.com.au. One of us two will read it. But in the meantime, we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.